Welcome back to the Elevate With Us podcast. I am so excited that you're here. If it's your first time, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been here before, please do the same. And really, really excited to share my podcast guest today. It's Shandell. She's one of our realtors, and she's a really great story and a really great value proposition if you're an agent in Northeast Florida. So Miss Shandell, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So tell us your story of, how you got here and, what you've done in real estate.
So not the whole story is not that fun, but it
is.
Yeah.
It always is.
When I started, I was married to my previous husband, but really, truly, I got licensed. I don't know that I've ever told this part of the story before. But
I'm excited.
Yeah, I got licensed because I wanted a new car.
Okay.
And
so you had a goal.
I had a goal, and I couldn't support the idea of buying a new car and putting us in financial strain if I wasn't going to bring anything in. So I created a value proposition. And I said, look, I can do this, this, and this, and I just have to sell this many houses, and then we can afford for me to have a new car. And I really wanted a new car. I was really motivated by that, so I got licensed. Really funny story about me getting licensed is I am a Gemini. So
we were just talking about this.
I'm a procrastinator by nature, and I decided to get licensed, and I knew the only way to motivate myself was to just schedule the test. So I bought the cheapest online course that I could find, breezed through it, and then I bought myself the book, and I scheduled my test for 10 days out.
10 days after that?
10 days after that.
Oh my gosh.
10 days after that. So
wow.
It gets better. So I scheduled my test 10 days out. I knew I had a deadline. I do happen to be a really good studier. So I buckled down. I read the book cover to cover. I listened to the audiobook anytime that I was in the car. I bought the car before I got the license. So really motivated. Gotta hurry and get it done. Had to get it before the first car payment was due. And so I scheduled the test in Pensacola because this was 2017.
Okay.
And it was when, people were just getting licensed in droves, and you couldn't schedule the test.
Wait, where is Pensacola? It's not close.
No.
It's how many hours?
6.5. But it was
6.5 hours.
It was the only way to make myself commit to the process. So
wow.
I scheduled the test in Pensacola, and I had to take it on a military base. My ex-husband was a Marine. And so I could get in quicker on base.
Okay.
Get in the car, my brand new car, super excited. Get all
super
the way
excited.
To Pensacola. Don't have my military ID. I can't get on base. I can't take my test. And
okay. All right. So how do you handle adversity?
Man, I sat in my hotel room and I kind of cried.
In your hotel room?
In my hotel room because I got a hotel room so that I could study the night before.
Wow, this is a really great story. And you've never told me this before.
Yeah, I think I've shared it maybe 4 or 5 times. The people, but my ex-husband knew, obviously. So I'm crying, I'm weeping, I'm I'm not going to be able to take that test. Blah, blah. And I just don't take no for an answer very often. And I drove to the base with my license, and I was like, you can look me up. And they were like, no, we cannot look you up. And I was like, you can look me up. They didn't look me up. I went home.
All right, but you tried. Yeah, you were fighting.
I went home, but in the process, I scheduled myself in Gainesville the next day. So I drove from Pensacola to Gainesville, took my test. I was really prepared to fail a couple times because of the way that I did this. I'm really proud of this, but I passed that test with 100%.
Wow.
100%.
That's impressive.
That's the power of pressure, baby.
Right. Well, you had a goal, and it was specific, and it had an end date. It had all the great characteristics of what we call SMART goals.
So I drove from Pensacola to Gainesville. I passed my test.
Okay.
And I went straight onto a team. I will say, one of the best decisions I made was starting on a team. I think I was
absolutely
able to learn so much really quickly. I became the listing agent for the team.
Very nice.
Yeah, and those are experiences I probably wouldn't have gotten as an individual agent if I had just started out. So everyone had prepared me pretty much the first year in real estate, you're not going to really do anything. Blah, blah, blah. The third house I sold was a $1.2 million house in Julington Creek.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I think it lit a big enough fire. I stayed on the team for probably another couple months after that, but
So maybe only like 6 months or so you were on the team?
maybe.
Oh, wow. That's quick.
Yeah.
That's quick.
And I just started to do the math. I was doing a lot of Sphere business. I was doing a lot of referral business.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some Zillow leads tucked in there. That 1.2, that was a Zillow lead.
Sure.
I wouldn't have got that without the team. But I just really quickly, the culture wasn't working for me, all the things. So I ended up leaving, and I started my own team.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started my own team with a friend of mine at the time. Really quickly figured out that we didn't like that either. So we started our own brokerage,
Okay.
ran a brokerage.
And how many years after getting your license to this point was it? Like 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'd had my license for maybe 2 years when we went ahead and applied for the brokerage.
Okay.
And the brokerage was really similar to running a team, but as things happen, it didn't work out. In the middle of all that, I went through a divorce.
Yeah.
So the motivation changes really quickly, right? So now I don't just have to afford my new car.
Right.
I have to afford my mortgage. It was a really huge shift. And I had to grieve that, which led to the dissolving of the brokerage, and some other, just some other crap happened along the way. And I hung my license at a friend's dad's kind of, I wouldn't even say boutique brokerage, because he only had the brokerage to list his new builds.
Right.
So it was basically an individual agent. And I was alone for about 1.5 years. And I did okay. I think I did like $7.5 million on my own, just off of referral and repeat business.
Amazing.
And I got remarried.
Congratulations.
Somewhere around like year 4.5, 5.
Okay.
And I kind of just took a break, but I realized that I wasn't happy alone. Like I wasn't happy being my own island anymore. I really wanted like-minded people and a culture, and just people to share the experience with, because if you don't do this, you don't understand how hard it is to do this.
No, you're so right. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, that with everything going on in real estate and all the new stuff, is people don't find us valuable, right? Because they don't want to pay us because they don't think we do anything. Because we've done a very good job of hiding what we do.
Yeah.
They don't know about the million phone calls we get, or the hours we spend trying to make a date work for somebody else and negotiate and whatever it is that you're working on, that we've hid that from the consumers to make it look easy. Yeah. And because of that, they don't see our value. So they whatever stupid, they watch a $1 million listing and they think that's what real estate is,
and they think those are the size of our checks every time too.
Oh, sure. Every time. Yeah. And they just have no idea what we're really doing. Exactly. Unless you're with a community of realtors.
Yeah. And that was really hard for me, because I'm probably, like in my social circle, I'm probably one of maybe 2 entrepreneurs. So I also just didn't have that social support,
Right.
Everyone kind of thought, oh, you can do whatever you want because you're self-employed. And they don't understand, like, you can't stay self-employed if you don't have discipline or, these things.
Yeah.
So I just got tired of being like a one-man island. And I think the day that I hit my wall, you happened to send me an email. I was at an open house and I was just like, I'm at an open house and all my friends were doing cool stuff.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Yeah,
they're at the beach or the pool.
Probably
and
like my second open house for the day or something. And I was just like, I'd hit a wall and I was like, I am so alone. I was killing it, but I didn't have help with open houses. I didn't have, God forbid I went out of town.
So hard to be a solo agent or a really small brokerage and get sick. Mm-hmm. Your kids get sick. Whatever. I mean, it's just you. You're literally everything.
Have one inconvenience could derail an entire month of your life.
Absolutely.
And that is
such
a crazy experience for me. My husband and I actually took my youngest to, I don't know, I think we went to SeaWorld or something. Mm-hmm. And I had paid an agent from another brokerage to run an open for me
You paid a realtor to run an open house?
I didn't have a community.
Oh, wow.
So I had paid her because I really wanted that one-on-one time with my youngest. And I had paid her only to get a call from a buyer saying, well, I thought you were having an open house today, but I'm here and no one's here.
The agent didn't show up?
No. She showed up, but she left at some point to go pick up lunch and get a drink from the gas station. And didn't lock up.
And didn't bring lunch on her way over?
No. So I had hit that wall. Oof. And I was sitting my own open house. Really kind of burnt out, like just wanting to see my kids, wanting to see my family. And you sent me that email. And I was just like, what do I have to lose? Like, what am I doing right now? I'm spinning my wheels. I'm alone. I don't have any support. And not to say that my old broker wasn't wonderful. He's great. I still see him every holiday.
Yeah, I mean, I know you still have a really good relationship with him.
Such a great relationship. But, you know, he knew that he couldn't support any growth for me. So you and I met. We had the conversation. I went to him, and, you know, he's kind of like a dad to me. I grew up with him, and I was like, Wayne, you know, this is kind of what I'm thinking. And he said, why are you don't even have to talk to me about this. I've been waiting for you to tell me that you were going to leave me since you came. So, you know, it went really well. And then I got to Rogue.
And do you remember how you came early for your appointment?
Oh, I did.
A week early. Yeah. So for that, you weren't a procrastinator.
No.
You were ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, a week early. And 40 minutes away, too, because I went to the St. Augustine office.
You went to the St. Augustine office, and I was on vacation.
Yeah.
I still remember where I was. I was in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania with my kids, and the admin called Diana, and she was like, hey, Shandell's here. And I was like, she's a week early. She's a week early. Yeah. Good impression.
I was
really good. I mean,
to start, you know, like I was ready to go. So, yeah. So, and that in the middle of all that, like I mentioned, I got remarried. And I realized that my husband was just a very handy guy.
Right.
And that started with, you know, our home and all the things. And then it transitioned to like, hey, I've got this repair request that I really need you to take care of. And then I think where, you know, what we're getting to is the bulk of our business. A friend of ours had to list their home, and they'd had, I wouldn't even say an awful tenant. I would just say a tenant. They'd been renting the home out for a long time. And so we came in and we actually renovated for them. Completely turned the place around. Ended up selling for like $55,000 over list price.
Wow.
And they're the ones that came to us and they were like, you understand that this is a business. This is a value proposition. You should offer this to other people.
Yeah.
And truly at that point, it hadn't dawned on me to do that or to offer that. And so we sat down and we really built out that package. We call it the fixer-upper package, where a seller, and some of this came from being a real estate investor myself, right?
Sure.
I see it. I see properties get tied up on the MLS by wholesalers because they're not market ready. Getting tied up
so
by
heavy,
wholesalers.
so much right there, so much.
And then they're coming to my inbox and I'm like, wait a minute, I saw this on the MLS.
Right.
You know, 3 days ago. It's been on the market for 3 days. The seller doesn't understand how much money they're leaving on the table. Mm-hmm. So we built out the fixer-upper program, which is basically if you need to list your home and there are either repairs required or some cosmetic updating, something that's going to keep you from that top dollar
place.
Space. Yeah. We come in and we handle that for the seller, and we pay, you know, the project is paid completely at closing.
Yep.
So a lot of times where a wholesaler would have came in 30 to 40,000 under list price, mm-hmm. You know, we work out a deal where they're paying us $7 to $10,000 max at close. I mean, I don't want to say max. We do more than that if it should ever occur. But, you know, on average.
But you're saying on average what you guys have experienced is about that.
$25,000 to $30,000 on the table because they don't have the money to paint.
Right.
And I didn't love that. You know, it just didn't sit right in my stomach. So we built out this program. And we've been offering it to my sellers, and I've just seen such a tremendous like growth of it, and it feels so good.
Sure. Well, it's authentic. It you came up with it. You guys kind of brought it together because you saw a need and you didn't even realize there was a need, which I think is so cool. That's what makes you an entrepreneur. It's not everybody has that. Is you did something, it turned into something else, and you were like, oh my gosh, I can make this a business.
Yeah.
And it can literally, feed you and your family because it's the same.
Yeah.
Which is just so amazing. And I know firsthand how amazing it is. So I don't sell a lot of real estate, but every now and again, some opportunities come my way. And my divorce attorney, because we both have that lovely divorce t-shirt, will sometimes refer me business. And I was referred a lovely listing that
they're going through a
pretty ugly divorce. That's usually when son calls me, is when he knows it's going to be really ugly, and he knows I can kind of manage the different personalities. And when I got there, the house was it needed a lot of polishing. It had how many colors?
Oh my god!
How many colors?
Let's just go through.
Like
there was a purple room, there was a yellow room, there was a blue room, there was a red room. That back bedroom was like burnt maroon or something.
And then wasn't there green?
I think that the bathrooms were green.
And then
so we're at 5
Wasn't
colors.
The trim like a color, and then the walls and the closets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, it was very what I would call taste specific, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're out there and your house looks like how you want it to look like, you live there. But when you go to sell,
you can't sell it for the same amount of money as we can sell something.
Right.
That's great.
You got to neutralize it.
Yeah.
And she had I don't know if you remember, but she had a lot of art. And I mean real art, like real framed, authentic art.
Colorful.
Very colorful.
Colorful art.
Very colorful. And she had put in these very also taste-specific floors that had some wear and tear on them. And I knew as soon as the furniture left, it was going to be worse.
Yeah.
Because you could see the wear and tear worse. And the best part about all of it was we had also interviewed a different company to do something similar to what you guys were going to do. And no one suggested what you suggested. So do you remember the back room? We were going to put doors on it. Mm-hmm. And you were like, time out, guys. This isn't usable. Yeah. This is better space if we just frame it out. And it was perfect.
For sure. And the people who are buying it.
Yes.
That's their favorite part.
Is that room?
Yeah.
Oh.
He said to me, if it didn't have this bonus space, I don't think that this would work for us. But at least we can still have a kitchen, dining room, and living room. And I was like, it's funny you should say that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's so funny that we were we had like blinders on as to how they were using it, that it needed to be continued to be used like that. And it wasn't really authentic to the space. Like that is what you suggested was the best use of the space and the easiest repair.
I think that sometimes it is really hard when you're firsthand. And I think that's another part of the value we bring is I can walk into these spaces as a buyer's agent,
right? Not
just as the listing agent, right? I frequently work with buyers, so I know what they're looking for, and I know what. It's nice to just have that extra set of eyes to be like, hey, I understand that you have an emotional attachment to this,
right?
But sometimes they need that leadership. Like, unfortunately, as beautiful as this purple room is, when you picked out this shade,
right,
it's not going to work for today's market. So I've found that with every one of these we do, I get a little bit firmer in that too, which has been really cool because I'm growing as a realtor. I'm growing, and as a designer, I'm growing, and in turn, my husband is growing because I come up with a new project and a new idea every time. And I'm like, you can definitely take that wall down, and you can definitely remove that tile, and we'll do that, and it'll look great. And thanks, I'll see you in 2 weeks. And that's my favorite part is I always give him these really unrealistic timelines. Like I'm like, well, I got to list it on the 1st, and it's like the 23rd.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And we have the kids. So it's like. And it's been really cool because a lot of times the kids will help out on a project.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got this from, that real estate's a family business. Mm-hmm. And it really, really is, because whether you're a single parent or there's 2 parents or whatever it is, since it does involve after hours type work, if you can't get your kids to kind of buy into it, it makes it really, really hard.
Yeah. So our oldest will sometimes go to work.
I love that.
And he's really,
and how old is he?
14.
Perfect age for it.
And he can lay LVP now.
Really?
Right. So he's going to go into life. I'm an entrepreneur. I didn't go to college. I
Right.
pretty much just kept getting thrown into deeper and deeper pools and having to make it work. And I'm so proud that these kids will go into an adult situation with really useful skills. Like even
It's amazing.
Yeah, even my 7-year-old will like, it's so funny. I have all these pictures of him trying to help like install appliances and like
So cute.
mopping floors after we install them. And so we're actually building out a new website right now with some before and afters. And so he came up to the computer last night and he was like, "Oh, Mom, we flipped that house." And I was like, "We did."
We did.
And he just kept saying, "Our house. Oh, we did that flip," or "We did that." And I just
he
thought,
has pride.
Yeah.
Like he's so proud of it. That's so amazing.
and there's no part of him that thinks like, this is my mom's business, this is my stepdad's business.
It's family. It's the family business.
Yeah, it's our flip.
I
And
just love
thought,
that.
Like, ugh, it
Right. It gives you the feels and the
He
chills.
will be my entrepreneur.
Okay, so he's the one now do you think he'll be like a realtor? Do you think he'll do construction? Like where do you see him?
I don't know, but I know that he's gonna like rule the world.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know which part. Yeah, I don't. He could end up like just being a day trader, you know? Like he is my entrepreneur. Like he's gonna make his own way in the world. But it was like that enormous sense of pride last night. Like he was just like, "Oh, Mom, that's our flip." And I was like, "It is our flip." Like,
Yeah, no, I love it.
yeah,
That's amazing. That
builds their lives as well.
well, we're moms. We're always thinking we're ruining our kids, right? Because you didn't show up for something because you were working or you were at something late.
Because I made him mop LVP instead of like
I don't know,
math.
do
I don't
Legos
know.
or I don't know, like go to soccer practice or whatever it is, and instead he's being dragged around at real estate things, and instead. It's done the opposite. It's inspired him. It's given him pride.
He walks a lot of times because it's very much an after hours business. So now that the renovation company is kind of growing on its own, there's a lot of times that if we're going to walk a flip, we have to do it when the kids are home.
Sure.
And he walks them with us now.
Oh, cool.
And he'll be like, "Oh, I love this kitchen. I love this kitchen." And it's the
Wait,
worst kitchen.
How old is he?
He's 7.
He's 7.
It's the worst kitchen. It's awful. It's terrible. I'm ripping it out. I know this immediately, right? And he's like, "Cabinets, good. I like this tile." And I just think it's so funny and he'll even walk up to something and be like, "We got to change this."
Oh my gosh.
I know. There was like mirrored closet doors in a house that we locked, and he was like, "Nah, we got to get rid of that. Nobody's gonna like that." It's like, thank you for finally someone understands.
Someone understands you. That feels so good. Now, how old is he?
7.
He's 7 years old.
Yeah.
It's amazing. No, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, we're always so worried that we're ruining our kids. Yeah. I know I am. And, and you're clearly not. You're, he's super inspired.
I have 4 of them, and at any given week, like somebody's in the rotation for like me ruining their life. So it's nice when I have like 3 of them hate me, but this one is designing a house with me. Like
designing a house too. I love it.
Yeah.
So, you'll have to like kind of bring him through an entire one, like from start to finish, and get his input.
Oh no, he does.
Oh, that already happens.
Every single project.
Do you ever disagree about things and do it your way and not his way?
He's just now very opinionated. Just now very opinionated. So no, not yet, but I'm sure that it's coming. And I mean, it's been really cool. It's such a cool experience. Even my stepdaughter, she had to do a school project, and it's such a humbling experience, right? Because you talk about divorce, and you talk about being a parent, and you talk about all the things that you're doing wrong, and you don't even realize when you're doing the things right.
No, I don't think I do anything right with the kids, and I'm sure
but there's something happening.
Yeah.
Like your kids are really smart. Like you're doing something right. Maybe. They're making it.
Hopefully.
But it was really cool because she had this school project that I didn't even know about. Because, schedule is limited, all the things. And she did the project on me.
What?
Not even like on me. That's a little vain, right? Like that's a little vain.
I need to know more.
Yeah, it was like career driven, like career focused. Like she had to decide what she wanted to do.
Okay.
And she wanted to design houses because of her experience, like watching me do it. So
that's amazing.
I will try to bring her in because it is fun. She does have. We don't agree on all the things, but she has decent taste, So I will I'll show her.
And how old is she?
She is 11.
That's a hard age.
Yeah, no, not with her.
She's tweening. Is that the right?
Not yet.
Oh,
She's still
That's
like
nice.
nice.
She's still
a
nice.
nice person.
Okay, you're just counting the days.
No, I know it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, but
That's
she's
fun,
still
though.
very nice. But I'll give her like 3 tile options, and I'm like, hey, I think I want to go with this, and she's like, yeah, or you could do this and this, and sometimes it is better than mine.
That's so amazing that you can, because it's hard sometimes being the only decision maker, because I don't know if Kyle makes good.
Oh no, I'm a Gemini. So I love typically being the only decision maker, but no, he won't even try to make a decision.
He won't even try to.
No,
make
he
it.
won't try.
He'll just do the building. He'll just do the work.
A lot of times he won't even go to the store without like a directive. Like, no. Just send me the SKU.
The SKU number. Don't just say white subway tile.
Yeah.
It's like exactly which one. He doesn't even want to pick. That's smart though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't be mad at him for his choice if he didn't make it. It's all you. It's all you.
One time, I'm probably not supposed to tell this story.
I'm really excited.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this Elevate with Us podcast.